slowly rolling into it, and off of corner number 4. It's showtime at Skagit Speedway. It's showtime!
One car with the front of it that was junk, and another car with the back of it was junk. So I cut both of them in half, took the good part of one car and the good part of the other car, and welded them together.
Racing, and next thing you know, she's on the flag stand running the, doing flag, and all my quarterback. I'm like, where did you come from?
I hope they just soak it all in, because you don't know when it could be over.
Little crazy Martin looks over. He goes, "Are we going 100 mile an hour? I've never gone 100 mile an hour before in my life."
And I just looked at the track and I said, "This is absolutely gorgeous. This is a beautiful facility." He says, "You think so?" And I said, "It is." And he says, "My name is Jim Raver."
No pressure, just win.
All right, well, welcome into this week's edition of On the Gas, a Skagit Speedway podcast. Blake Anderson, Erik List with you. And this week we're joined by Bryan Hulbert, announcer for USAC, former ASCS announcer, also does Chili Bowl and the Tulsa Shootout. Bryan, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with us today. We appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so let's just kind of first start with Chili Bowl and Tulsa Shootout, because that's what's really in the forefront of most people's minds. It's what's coming up here most recent. It's where you are in Tulsa, Oklahoma. What are things looking like over there in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
Oh, it's crazy right now. We're just got all the dirt in, and first time we have ever gotten it all in one day. Had 19 trucks at the start of the day, 21 by the end of the day, a little over 12 hours, and it's a combination of our drivers and crew plus Tulsa County, and it's quite the undertaking.
I saw gravels. You got the grader out already. You guys are already really, I feel like in great shape already for day one. Do you guys feel, I imagine Matt's in a pretty good mood, feeling pretty good right now.
Matt's anxious, but Matt's always anxious when it comes to Expo. And it's, the good thing, the material coming in, looking at it and kind of evaluating it, it's really consistent moisture-wise, so we're kind of on a good footing there. It's giving gravel and Steve and Martin and all them something to really work with and be able to build on and shape and do what they want to do with it. Gravel being in today, part of that is to kind of move some material around to kind of set a foundation, but also to get the top of the track set up to where we can set that upper wall and be able to place the poles and have everything where it needs to be.
How long does it take to get the poles placed once you guys kind of get everything in place?
A few hours.
Oh, that's not bad at all. It's pretty impressive to watch that crew work and what they accomplish on race night, especially if we have a fence repair. It is not even organized chaos. It's like a symphony the way that they work.
It's one of those fortunate, unfortunate situations where you've done it enough times, you try to plan ahead as much as possible, and we try to have fence, poles, zip ties, wire ties, cable, anything we need strategically placed at whether it's the infield, outside of turn 1, back kind of behind the scenes over in the entrance of turn number 3, to where we can grab stuff quickly.
So we recently had our track prep guy, Jeff Jackson, on here, and one of the things we talked about was kind of surface and what makes for a good surface and compositions of dirt and all that. What type of surface do you guys want when you're trucking in? What do you look for when you say, hey, this is the dirt we're going to want to bring in? Now, I believe it's dirt that you use year after year, but what is the prospect in when you're saying, hey, this is the dirt we want to bring in for the Tulsa Shootout and the Chili Bowl? What are you guys looking for?
Well, to quote Emmett Hahn, it's not what you're going to put in your grandma's flower bed. Topsoil is not what we're looking for. We want clay, and the clay around here, it's not very silty, and when it's got moisture to her, she'll definitely pull your shoes off. And like anywhere, the composition of materials and soil changes a lot. Here, it's a darker clay, where versus you get in western Oklahoma, there's a lot more iron in the soil, so you have more of a reddish clay. And same thing, like if you go up to Bloomington Speedway, you'll notice it's more of a reddish clay there. But if you go up to Lincoln Park Speedway, it's dark, and you go up to Kokomo and it's almost black. So it just depends on the region, but the clay is used year to year. A lot of the clay from the original Tulsa Speedway still remains in that stockpile, and then we'll add clay from around Tulsa, Creek County, Rogers County throughout the year to kind of help replace what we lose through the course of the events.
Okay, and that was my next question. Where do you get it? So do you just kind of call those guys and say, hey, we're going to come get X amount of dirt, or do they just know every year you're going to come by and grab a little bit more?
No, it's, we have a great relationship with the county commissioners, and, they are at the head of road projects, construction projects, and they'll notify Emmett if they run into a good vein of clay, like if they're doing a road project or something, and that's something that we're able to go grab. And then, they've got an area that they get clay for Creek County. Same thing. We can run out there and get clay from there too.
What's the building looking like right now? Is you guys are the grandstands up yet and much done in the pit area? I saw this morning you were out on the skid loader moving things around.
It's chaos right now. Of course, we're getting everything laid in on the lower level. Those stands on the lower level have been in since the BMX show.
Okay.
So that helps definitely the expo crew as far as getting ahead and doing what they need to do. And then on the upper level, they're building the stands for turns 3 and 4. And as they build that allows our carpentry crew to come in and actually build the stands for handicap as well as the drivers and crews.
Which that's a pretty neat process. And I think what many race fans don't realize is when that checkered flag drops on Saturday of Chili Bowl, within minutes, crew is taking the racetrack apart. Like it, as fast as it goes together, it comes apart just as almost faster. It feels like you guys go to work right away tearing that thing down.
So every few years, with the way the calendar falls, you go from the absolute dirtiest event in that building we'll see all year to the cleanest event, the boat show.
Yep.
And every few years, because of that and the way the calendar works, we end up on about a 36-hour window where we have to have the building cleared out in under 36 hours, preferably 24.
Gosh.
And last year was one of those years.
Is it still true? I know back in the day, I don't know if it still holds true, that the building, they used it kind of as their yearly cleaning, where post Chili Bowl they would power wash the building from top to bottom. No. Do they still do that?
Every now and then. I think I've seen the power washers out there once.
Okay.
There is so much electric in the floor and so in the way that building is put together. You don't really want to introduce a large amount of water like that, because that's one thing last year we ran into when we were moving in for Chili Bowl. Was it snowed and we had a ton of ice on top of all the trailers, and we were running around in the pits with squeegees and buckets to keep the water from running underneath the trailers and shorten something out.
It's that building is so impressive too. I know it's the largest freestanding building in the world.
At one point, I believe it was.
Okay.
But it was built as an oil exposition. That's why the lower level is the way it is. That's so they could stand oil derricks up and put them together, and you could actually have them work.
No kidding.
And
wow.
When it was first built, it didn't have the walls. And over time, the improvements have been made. Offices have been put in. The walls have been put up, and it just so happens it's the perfect size for a, quarter-mile dirt track.
And it is. You go in there and you see that setup, and you're like, it's like this place was built to hold the Chili Bowl. It's just perfect. It fits like a glove.
Well, and it's insane how much the events have grown to where, even when I started working Chili Bowl in 2011, when I was on the broadcast with Racing Boys, and then starting with the company, full-time later that year, I remember the shootout that first year, we had 790 entries, and I was just, my flabbers were gasted. I couldn't believe how many cars were in that building. And then get to the Chili Bowl, and we've got 220 some odd cars in there. And I'm like, my God, how are we going to get all this in there? And now I've got 335 entries on the website right now. Another 15 have showed up today.
Gosh.
And shootout deadline entry is today. And last I looked, there was over 150 pending.
So, I know I ran the shootout numbers earlier today, and I can't even remember if I still have it in my math. Yeah, 1,733 on the website.
Yeah,
so
we're about 100 off of the entry record that was set last year.
Wow.
So my hope is they just entered early, and they didn't enter more.
Yeah.
It's a great problem to have. And one thing, last year we reevaluated our parking with the shootout, and we started treating it more like the Chili Bowl in the way that, we have everybody assigned to a spot. It's numbered. We call you, you pull in. And we were able to go through last year and physically count not only, which we know the number of trailers, but the number of individual cars. So then we have a better idea of how many trailers can we allow to come in and still have ample parking.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting to the point, I feel like, at that race. I mean, last year was my first one where, in Chili Bowl, though, you got bigger rigs at the Chili Bowl. We're almost to the point where we're bursting at the seams in that building.
Yeah. I mean, if I could just add 100 feet in all direction, it'd be great.
Yeah. That's really all we need. Exactly.
Well, and just consider when that building was built, it was a little over $3 million. Put that into perspective in today's money, you're looking at $31 million.
Yeah.
And that's before they did all the upgrades.
You kind of mentioned parking. What is the science of parking all those micros and then, parking all the midgets a week or so later? How do you guys do it? Because it is always so tightly packed, but it still gives lanes for cars and people to get around.
Right. Rage and nicotine. No, it's Cody Cordell heads that department very, very well, and he's very meticulous, takes a lot of notes, double checks, rechecks. Shootout, everything runs the length of the building. Chili Bowl, we turn everything 90 degrees, and going through, like when I get entries, if you look on the form, it asks how many, what's your trailer size, what type is it, how many cars are with the trailer, and then who is with the trailer is what we added this year. So that way, when I'm taking entries, I'm able to put in notes on a spreadsheet that is numbered by our parking spots to say, it's this team, these drivers. So then we can look at it and say, hey, we've got two teams here that are side by side. They both had 2 cars last year. One went to 6 cars. This one went to 3. Okay, we're going to have to figure out how to open a spot between them.
That's
impressive.
There's so many moving pieces with just parking. I feel like we could spend an hour talking about the processes and how you guys go about it, because it's fascinating. And then seeing it in person, it just blows your mind. Especially, I started going to the Chili Bowl in 2010, and the back of the building there was a lot of space back there. Now, there's no space back there. None.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look back pictures from years ago, there was a basketball court.
Yeah, they played Dale Blaney playing basketball back there, and they had basketball tournament during the day.
Would there ever come a point where you would have to cap entries?
Probably not.
No? Okay.
It just gets to the point where probably have to just figure out, okay, who gets to park inside
It's not so
the
much
building?
capping entries. No, it's not even, we're going to get everybody in the building. It's a matter of, is your trailer getting in the building?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of like the dome,
Yeah.
where some people. The trailers are on. Some people are just not at a trailer.
Yeah.
And
it's a good
we
problem.
don't want to do that, but unfortunately, it is what it is. But we're not going to tell somebody, oh, great, you're pitting outside, and by the way, it's going to be -3 tonight.
Yeah.
Brian, what do the hours look like for you guys? I've known you for 15 years now, and I know at Shootout and Chili Bowl, your sleep pattern, I don't know how you do it, but to get that facility ready to even get to pulling the shootout out, how long are you guys in the building a day? Is it 20 hours?
We're in there 7 a.m. every day. There's some days, like Sunday, we left everybody by about 5 o'clock.
Okay.
But at that point, it's making sure that the lower wall is set, the radius is set, remeasuring that, making sure, a lot of the stuff we need for when we start pulling dirt in is in place. And then yesterday, I know Matt was at the pile before 6. The first load of clay hit right just after 7 a.m. and the last load of clay hit just after 7 p.m. Then they were there for a couple more hours on the D3 pushing material around to get it ready for today, so then they can start shaping the top of the track and getting the ramp done.
Gosh, it's you guys are such a well-oiled machine. It's like once with the way you have to measure the racetrack to get stuff in there and get the material in and placed, and then I feel like it really comes together pretty quick anymore.
If we had to if everything went right from start to finish, we could race in 7 days.
That's incredible.
Wow.
It's a lot of moving parts, and luckily the people that are involved are obsessed just as much as me or you, and probably more so.
You have to be.
Well, and I made this comment on a post here about a month ago where, talking about completely different subjects about motorsports photography is one of Nicole Signer's post, and she was talking about the people like, yeah, it must be nice. It's like, yeah, you didn't see what I did to get here. And you've seen this in this sport. It will eat you up, spit you out, and leave you hating it.
Yeah.
If you are not absolutely obsessed with it. You can't be a race fan, and this sounds bad to say it, but you can't be a race fan and work in racing. Never mind, we're the biggest race fans you ever met in your life.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between being a race fan and actually working in racing and still being a fan of it.
Especially the stuff that we see, and deal with.
Because you're, especially being on tour, the hours, the miles, if you have a family, like, I've got my wife and kids, and luckily she's a school teacher, which in the state of Oklahoma means we're battling to see who can make the least. But, during the summer, that affords where she's home and I'm able to do this. I'm able to go, to Indiana, Pennsylvania, Florida, California, all over the place, and make a living doing this.
How do you balance? You kind of mentioned it, family and the travel and all that aspects. How do you balance that work-life relationship? Because you have kids, you have a wife, but you have a job that, like you said, you're able to go on the road, but how do you balance that?
Certainly not on one foot, because I'd be on the floor. I don't even know if you call it balance. The good thing about the USAC schedule, I pretty much leave on Thursday, I'm home on Sunday. For the most part. I mean, obviously, Winter Dirt Games, the West Coast, Eastern Storm, your midget week, sprint week, those are a little different because you are going to be gone for an extended period. Mm-hmm. But I'm still able to be very much involved and be home and be present and help with the kids. And, even this morning, needing to get to the office and get some stuff done before I came out here, I got my kid on the bus, took my daughter to daycare, and it's a challenge sometimes. I'm not going to act like it's not a challenge. It is. And there's days where I really question, how much longer can I do this? Mm-hmm. But it's the only way I know to make a living. So I'm fortunate in the fact that my wife is very understanding of that, and she was able to go with me on trips when I worked with ASCS up to, incidentally, Dirt Cup and the Brownfield. And she got to see what actually happens when you are on the road racing and working within the sport in the hours that it entails. And thank God for her, because she actually understands and is extremely supportive of what I do, thankfully.
I mean, when at Chili Bowl, to give people, because you're humble, but Brian's the hardest working guy in the building, and I don't know if it's even really close. I mean, he's there at 7, 8 a.m. at the latest, and he's handling all the Chili Bowl partners, the vendor show, stuff in the pit area, and then you've got drivers calling, wanting to switch qualifying nights, switching things up, and he's balancing that, and then he's preparing to announce the races, and then gets the races done, and Brian's at the press conference. Then the press conference ends, and it's later in the night, and he's got to write a press release, and then you wash, rinse, and repeat. And he's back in the building the next day at the crack of dawn. It's nothing short of impressive, Brian. You have your Superman cape on that week.
I don't know if it's a Superman cape or lack of sanity.
A lot of coffee.
Between coffee and NOS that
NOS,
week,
yep.
my blood type is probably, you don't want to know.
Lauren coming on board was a blessing for us at the Chili Bowl with NOS Energy drink.
God, if I could get it intravenously, I would. By the end of the week, I start to realize I could probably do like trap metal beats to my heart rate, which could possibly have an effect on my health. The jury's still out on that. All I know is the last time I went to the doctor, they wouldn't tell me what was wrong. They kept asking me what I wanted to name it. So, but no, in terms of people working in that building, everybody works their ass off. I remember it was about 5 years ago. We were having the press conference on Monday, and one of the reporters with KRMG was in there, and he asked Emmett, "How many volunteers do you have here?" And Emmett chuckled. He goes, "Everybody in here gets paid. I wouldn't wish this on anybody." It's crazy. It's fun though. If you can finally get to the point where, how do I put this? You just realize there's some things you can't fix, and you just have to kind of work with it.
Yep.
It is what it is, and we try to fix any issues and problems that come up as quickly and as efficiently as possible, and sometimes you just can't. But no, it's without the team and the crew that's in this building, man, this show doesn't happen. It's not just any one person, and I can tell you, working for Emmett, and then with Matt being the director of operations, Martin down on the track with Gravel and Steve, Angie up in the booth scoring. You've got Grigsby in there. You got Ashley in the office. You got Miss Shirley at 90+ years old, still coming in, still telling people how the cow ate the cabbage.
She's awesome.
Oh, Miss Shirley, let me tell you, Miss Shirley always either drives something with a trunk you could hide a body in,
I remember that,
or the Escalade that
Yep.
you could stack bodies in. So
Yep.
she's that old lady that loves going to church, but she not only knows where the bodies are buried, she probably put them there.
Yeah. I've watched several people come in there and kind of run their jaws a little bit to Miss Shirley.
They'll try, and Miss Shirley, she'll go, "Excuse me?"
Yep, she puts them right in their place.
Oh, it's hilarious.
It is. Oh, it's good. She doesn't give a rip.
She is from a different generation, and she has no problem telling you exactly which direction you can pick to go away.
I think, as odd as it sounds, one of my favorite Chili Bowl memories is a couple years ago teaching Emmett Hahn how to use emojis in text. Lonnie Wheatley and I laugh about that every time, because he walked up to me with his phone and said, "Blake, what are these thumbs up and this crying and all that?"
Yeah.
Emmett, that's an emoji. Well, how the hell do I use one of those? So I showed him how to use emojis in his text. So now he uses emojis occasionally, and he'll still laugh about that, and it kills me, because what the heck is this? Hold on, Emmett. I'll give you a little lesson here.
I mean, hell, he had a flip phone up until 4 years ago.
I know. I've always laughed when he would pull that flip phone out too. It's like,
and let me tell you, the day I stop working in this industry, I will go back to a flip phone.
Oh, that's a fact. They still got him. Yeah, Emmett was. Yeah, he was running a flip phone till about the pandemic, I'd say, right?
Yeah, they stopped making it.
Yeah, because they stopped that cell phone network around then.
Yeah, the one he had, they quit making, and then the network wouldn't support it anymore. So he finally got him. He said he got him $1,000 deck of cards.
No, he knows how to use emojis now, so he's got that going for him. But what?
Between thumbs up and solitaire, he's covered.
Oh, he's happy as can be. The shootout. I mean, what's been the magic, sir, up there? I mean, it's that event has Chili Bowl's grown, but shootout has grown.
Shootout. I look at the two events. Shootout is what gave rise to the Chili Bowl, and most people don't realize that. If it wasn't for the shootout, we wouldn't have the Chili Bowl. That was the litmus test. That's what proved it could be done. So, timing, has a lot to do with it. I mean, what else is going on that time of year?
That's true.
So that definitely helps. And then the fact that you look at the list of winners on the banners at this event, because remember, it started with cards, quads, and odysseys, and micros, and I'll throw a number at you here in a minute about that. But go back and look at the list of winners that are up there.
It's cool.
I mean, you got Jamie Murray won the shootout. Adam Petty won at the shoot. I mean, you go look at that, and it's, Kevin Swindell, and the list goes on of people that made it up into the upper echelons of the sport, and this is where they started. Then they brought their kids back. Look at what Larson's doing. He's bonsai from Australia to make it back to here. Why? His son's racing, his daughter's in the junior sprints for the first time.
And before too long, we're going to have 3 Larsons.
Yeah.
Another 3 or 4 years, and Cooper's going to be running, and by that time, Owen will probably be in a midget.
Yeah, so I mean, it's there's a lot of that where racers, and it's like anything, the next generation of racers comes from racers. The micro world has seen a explosion, though, because you have a lot of people who have never raced now starting to get into it. So that's starting to help. But I'll go back to, I mentioned all those carts and quads and odysseys and all that. The last year, before they switched to the open wheel format, there was 23 divisions of cars.
Wow.
1,009 entries, I believe, if I remember my history correctly, with 23 divisions.
Now we're at 6 divisions with 1,800 entries.
Yeah, and when they went to the open wheel, remember we had the Ecotech midgets and we had the Lightning Sprints. And those have gone away, and now we're just down to the 4 divisions of micros, restricted, and junior sprint.
Which is, I mean, that's enough anymore. We've grown so much into that.
We have enough. We might be able to put on a show.
Yeah, I'd say that it's kind of one of those deals. I think this year went good enough. We might just try it again next year.
That's what we're hoping.
On the announcer side, and I'm curious for both yourself and Blake, because I'd be curious to see how your answers kind of differ, but also probably the same. How do you prep for, Blake had said, 1,700 plus micros, and Chili Bowl is a little less than that, but still, how do you prep on the announcing side for that many cars, that many drivers, that many different stories?
Oh, man. If it wasn't for MRP, we'd all be lost a lot of times. So that has definitely helped. It's changed how we do a lot of things. I'm fortunate in the fact that I have Now 600 right in my backyard, and I used to work for Terry, and I used to announce for Now 600, so that kind of gave me a leg up on some of the micro guys. And I still follow what they do. So year round, I'm always kind of watching and looking to see, who won here, and kind of have that. The benefit for me is I'm not on a broadcast. So I'm still announcing. It's not like I'm sitting up there and just watching cars go in circles. Like, I'm still announcing, but I don't have to fill every second.
Yeah.
So it does change it a little bit for me. Now, if I'm on the broadcast, that's where I'm constantly, when somebody else is talking, I'm constantly looking for something.
Mm-hmm. I think at shootouts a little bit easier because we just the pace of the show has to move so quick because we have so much racing that we really don't get an opportunity to really peel an onion layer back and dive into a story because it's pretty much like heat race rolls out, Caleb and whoever's in the booth, they give the lineup, call the racing. If we have a quick yellow or at the end of the heat race, it's a quick 30-second interview. In that interview, heat race lineup, go. So you don't really have time to do a story. Where Chili Bowl, we've got 300 and we're at 335 right now, 335 entries. I have something on every single driver. I make sure I go in there with something on every driver. I've got my notes on them. So if something happens, I can pull my notes up and say, hey, Bryan Hulbert did this, and this year and won a track championship here, or ran 4th in points in a modified here, blah, 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 and kind of peel that onion layer back and tell a story. But shootout, you just don't get a chance to.
Chili Bowl, we kind of treat the same way we would like when you were doing the All-Stars or when I'm doing USAC or when I did ASCS. just a little nugget on everybody.
Yep.
Whether it's, your tour regulars, how many starts, wins, top fives, top tens. If you're at a track you've been to before, you look at it and say, oh, okay, and we're at a Kokomo Speedway tonight, and guess what? Robert Ballou has X amount of wins here, yada, 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 and, you have that little bit, and then you can go back and same thing, like some of the local guys be like, hey, by the way, when Kokomo raced weekly, this was the track champion.
Yep. You have more time at Chili Bowl, so a lot more of my prep work goes into the Chili Bowl than to shootout, to be honest. And if I had to prepare for shootout like I do Chili Bowl, I would be asking Bryan to have entries open in February, so I could at least it'd take me that long to start typing
make sure you re-enter.
Yeah, make sure you enter for next year's shootout before you renew your tickets at pit passes. Please, here's next year's entry blank, and go ahead and enter on the way out. But yeah, you don't have the time at shootout to really tell much of a story. And honestly, there's enough that happens at shootout that when we do need to tell a story, there's 10 stories that have happened since the last time that we can hit on.
Yeah. That's why we had Tyler.
Yeah.
We sick Burnett on them.
Yeah, they gotta go see Heavy Lunch.
Yeah,
and Chet will be there this year.
You're gonna have Chet and Tyler chasing after you, going, so tell me about why you just flipped that guy off for 3 laps in a row.
And that's where you'll see your social media pieces, Eric, because usually we just we send old Heavy Lunch out there, and Tyler gets to turn in and burn in on the stories. And last year was my first Tulsa shootout, and I long said, I'll be full disclosure, long said, the day that Bryan Hulbert tells me I have to announce shootout to do Chili Bowl will be the day that I am no longer announcing the Chili Bowl. And then Flo told me I had to do it, and I was like, okay. And I honestly enjoyed it.
That's the thing. Everybody looks at the shootout and they're like, oh my God, it's so long. And it's like, yeah.
I actually,
full
disclosure, enjoyed it.
I love the shootout.
Yeah, as a fan, I enjoy watching the shootout.
I always use the shootout to do notes. For
the main events and the racing, the qualifiers at the shootout, the intensity level
so high.
is 20 out of 10.
It is.
And that's where it's like, don't get me wrong, I love the Chili Bowl. I'm obsessed with both of them. But there is something about the shootout that just,
yeah, shootout qualifiers
look at the amalgamation of drivers, of teams that roll into the shootout. Chili Bowl has, obviously you've got your late model guys, your sprint car guys, your NASCAR guys. You've got an even deeper field at the shootout. If you actually sit down and look at everybody that's in it, it ain't just micro guys.
And anymore, we feel like we've got more. It's kind of like what Knoxville's seen at the 360 Nationals, where guys kind of use shootout as their 360 Nationals. It's their opportunity to go get laps and just see how the place looks in 2020, now 2026. So, and get a leg up. We saw more guys last year run than probably we've ever seen that ran both events.
Well, and look at the drivers that figured it out years ago and were successful with it.
Yeah. It's a neat event. It really is. And I know that I'm sure Erik and Lisa will have it on here in the office at Skagit Speedway all day because we start at 9 o'clock Central, so it's 7 a.m.
It's great
when they get to the
up.
office. You wake up to it here. Hell, I woke up to it on the East Coast. Who we kidding?
Yeah.
But
it's fun waking up to it, honestly.
It is.
It's sweet.
So as we are talking, I have migrated from my office where I had to go take care of something back to the expo, and we are currently stacking K-rail into storage containers.
I saw the flow booth got set, and
yep, we got the Brian Kopinski broadcast booth ready to go.
The Easy Bake Oven.
Yep. Oh, you guys have got it nice now. You should have been in that thing.
Oh, that's what Caleb said.
Back in the day.
10 years ago, that thing was. Whew.
I remember first time I did this event in 2011. I was in there, and it wasn't. Oh man, that thing was like Lawton-esque in the way and the size. Which they've got a new press box now. Unfortunately, theirs burned down, but that thing is like a broom closet. And literally, I'm standing. I've got Scott all the way to the door. I've got Kirk over here, and we're going through. And Kirk doesn't say a word. He just sits there with a grin on his face, and you know what's coming. I still am paying therapy bills on the rotten egg fart that he ripped as we were in the middle of a broadcast. We got to the commercial, and Scott was over there just screaming at him. And Kirk he finally took his headset off and goes, "Oh, yeah, were you, what, did you need me?" And we're just like, God, man, what died?
Erik, that booth is smaller than the booth here. I mean,
The one now or the old one?
The old one, half the size of this room.
Yeah.
Now it's a double wide, so it's spacious in there.
Hey, it fits the Oklahoma motif.
Yeah, it does. Oh man, yeah, it's been neat to see that event grow to what it's grown to be, and I know that it's going to be exciting. I know that we're at 335. We still have the Keith Coons midgets looming out there on their entries. So I think,
and social media is losing their mind.
I'm sure.
Oh my God, where's Keith Coons? Where's Keith Coons? I will let you know where those entries are. They are sitting in my email as of about 10:30 this morning.
But it's always that way. Every year, Keith is always,
Well, and it always works out like this. If they're still working on stuff, I'll get a phone call from Pete.
Yep.
He'll tell me what's going on. He lets me know well ahead of the deadline. It's like, not a problem. Send it to me when you're ready.
Can you tease it? How many we're looking at? Are we
Double digits.
are we north of 10 again this year?
Double digits, baby.
So I mean, we're going to be north of 350 pretty easily then.
Oh, we'll be north of 350 by the end of the day.
There we go. I'll be refreshing my laptop before I head out of the office today to see where it ends at.
It's going to be late.
That's how I do it when I get home then.
And for anyone,
let's see. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
He can count.
he can.
Well, the deal is I got stuff in front of me that I can cheat with. So
Counting K-rails help.
I'm looking at 45 rolls of K-rail just for NOS right now.
Jeez. I mean, I think I've always thought it would be cool, and I don't know if it's feasible, to do a time lapse in there. Like hang a GoPro and just.
We have tried 3 times in the last 5 years to do time lapses, and all 3 times somebody either unplugged the camera, broke the camera, or moved the camera. And I finally said, I'm done trying to do time lapses.
I don't blame you there. Yeah.
So what's interesting though is there's security cameras all over this place. It's got security cameras like a Vegas casino.
Yep.
So what I need to do is, instead of trying to set up a GoPro or bother Ross to get their time lapse camera again, is submit for the footage, see how grainy it is, and see if that works.
Yeah, do it.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
But here's the deal. You have to remember, this is a government-owned building. There's a lot of paperwork involved in requesting security footage.
Yes, and the hoops to jump through.
And there's rules with it, too.
Well, Bryan, I mean, I know that I know that you guys are turning and burning, and we'll see you here. What do we got? Today is the 16th, and I get there 2 weeks from today. I think I get there the 29th. I get there the 29th.
Man, you're showing up after the work's done.
I know.
We're gonna have to talk with Rigsby or Farini or one of them and tell them, look, that boy, he lives up there in lip-wristed country. We're gonna have to get him built up a little bit. You send him down here about the second weekend of December.
Yeah, Caleb is on his way.
Yeah, the elf on acid. That the nickname that we bestowed on him years ago.
Oh.
What is it?
Elf on acid.
Elf on acid.
Oh, okay.
He lives up
Caleb?
to it, though.
Caleb Hart.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
I've got a picture somewhere whenever he was racing the little, what are they, the Focus midgets?
Yep.
And on the sun visor with Sharpie, we wrote it on there.
Oh, that's good. We'll have to see. You have to find that for me, so I got to get a look at that.
It's probably buried on my Facebook page somewhere, but
I'll dig. Yeah, maybe I'll have to dig. That seems. Yeah, Caleb, he'll be there. Caleb, shoot, you put him to work, Bryan, because Caleb's staying between the shootout and Chili Bowl.
Oh, he's picking rocks.
There you go. Because
I'm gonna let Matt know we have got free labor.
Yep. Just give
Sorry,
him a
Caleb.
just give him a Jimmy John sandwich or something and cut him loose.
Just remember, I said there's no volunteers. That doesn't mean he won't be voluntold.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll fly home to work. Caleb's staying down there, so he's got a lot of free time. I think.
Did you just accuse yourself of working?
Loosely.
That's all right.
But Brian, I know that before we let you go, exciting USAC schedule got dropped the other day, a week ago. That's going to be fun. It's been fun to watch you grab a hold of that USAC world and really kind of make it your own.
Yeah, when that deal came up, I remember when Dr. Sullivan messaged me, and I've been with ANCS forever, and it was we're not doing anything in February. Like, it'd be something fun to do. So. When I talked to Kirk, it was, we decided, we're going to use Florida as kind of a litmus test. It's like we talked about it. They'd never really worked with me. I've never really worked with them. I mean, there was 2 times, I had worked. One was Beloit. The other one was not planned. Chet had started getting sick. We're at Lakeside, and then after qualifying, I jumped in and did the rest of the night.
I forgot about that.
But they've never had to work with me on a consistent basis. I said, well, let's do that because we may get through these first couple nights and you guys go, Jesus Christ, we can't work with this guy. And, unfortunate circumstances with everything that happened with Terry and, that all kind of came apart. But I always say I'm not trying to preach a theology to anybody, but somebody was definitely looking out for me because I was standing right there at my new job and didn't even know it.
Yeah, it was a good fit. I remember I lived with Spridge for 9 years, and I remember him and I kind of talking about it. I said, I don't know if Brian would leave. I don't know, but he'd be a good fit. Brian's a good guy. And
they're great to work with.
Yeah.
And I know, and you heard the rumors of USAC for years.
Uh-huh.
I mean, everybody I talked to made USAC out to be the biggest pricks on the planet.
I enjoyed
and it's
my
not
time
the
there.
case. I love it.
I was there for a year in college. Had a blast.
Yeah. Not because they're going to listen to this or might listen to this. No. I genuinely work with great people. Kirk's easy to work with. Richie is great to work with. Rich is great to work with.
Rich is great.
All of our infield guys. I mean, I enjoy what I do because of the people I get to actually work with.
I always felt like as an announcer there, it's so easy to work. You got Richie and Spridge, who are just 2 absolute encyclopedias, and that's before you've even touched Pat Sullivan.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you want to know more? Call the good doctor.
So it's just, they've got guys that, Richie can give you the rundown of everything, more than you'd ever want to know. Richie is Dick Jordan 2.0. I know he hates to hear that, but he is. He gives you everything you could ever want as an announcer, stat-wise.
I feel like Richie took what Dick Jordan started and made it better.
100% did. 100% did. DJ laid a great groundwork. 100% laid great groundwork, but Richie has just taken it to another level.
You're not. Mine and Richie's running joke is always, oh, look, a press release at 4 a.m. Because we were about the only 2 that were
alive,
still up at 4 a.m. writing press releases.
Oh. And
we knew each other through that before we ever actually knew each other.
And you're still doing a lot of press releases.
Yeah, I'm fortunate. I'm still able to work with ASCS. I work on the regional side. I don't cover national anymore, but that's one of those. And from working with a series that travels all over, you have to be there.
Yeah.
To properly cover a national series, you have to be there, and that's something that I can't do. But I'm still able to do the regions. Those have always been kind of sight unseen, and you go with the information you're able to obtain. And I'm fortunate they said, we still want you to do that. And I'm still able to do graphic work. A lot of the national tour flyers that you see over the last couple of years are still mine.
He does, and Erik does some graphic work for us here a little bit. So he writes some press releases. So I kind of feel like he's maybe following in the footsteps a little bit.
I appreciate that. Lisa does a lot of our graphics.
She does.
I've made just a couple here.
Well, if anybody starts comparing you to me, you might as well just have them insult you because there could be a fate worse than death.
Oh.
All I'm kind of curious. What's the best track you've kind of done on USAC, or what was the track that you had the most fun at?
I always feel like that's a loaded question because if I don't say one, it's going to be, well, what about us? You know.
Yeah.
Well, then you don't. I don't want to put
Now,
you in a tough position
in terms of tracks that when I roll in, I'm like, yeah. I mean, Kokomo.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
100%.
That place is always good for a show. Lincoln Park is great. Qualifying at Bloomington and Lincoln Park, I don't know if you'll find anything better. The only one I wanted to experience was Gas City, and it went away.
Gas City was good. Gas City, hopefully it's not gone for good. Hopefully it can find a foothold somewhere because Gas City is too awesome to not race.
You know, on the Silver Crown side, I mean, the miles, the history, everything about them. But like Worldwide Technology Raceway, to see the cars operate at that speed is just psychotic.
Watching a sprint car, I mean, a Silver Crown cars, for a sprint car for more or less.
Pull 190 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That's
it's crazy to watch. And now with Cody taking the reins on that, I'm really excited to see what happens there. You know, as meticulous as he was in a car, I got to look at the notebook he brought out to just kind of discuss what he wanted to do and how he wanted to go about it. And it's a 3-inch 3-ring binder full. And he's got the rules and the notes and everything for years. I mean, you're not going to get anything past him.
Cody is, I mean, if there's ever been a perfect tire, that's it right there.
No, he's going to be awesome. You know, the sprint car schedule is always, it's going to be a lot of fun. The midget schedule is always a lot of fun.
And they kind of dialed back the midget schedule. We're back down to 29 events, right? I think I saw.
I think they got to still have a few, spit out in a minute, that they're still working on.
Okay.
But I mean, we're still sitting at 96 races this year.
I mean,
and that's something.
It's more than the Outlaws.
I have to applaud Kirk to balance 3 national tours that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough. So I mean, yeah, there's times where you can tell he's really short and he's just kind of like, yeah, there's a reason. If I had that much pressure on me, I'd be short with people too.
I remember I was at USAC in 2011, and that's when Kirk had started there just a couple years before that. I think he was on year 3. Jason Smith, who still is at USAC, was, I think, doing a lot of the scheduling. I remember walking into his office. It was in the old office before they remodeled, and he had a calendar on his wall. I mean, the calendar was huge. Mm-hmm. Life-size calendar, and he had everything all mapped out there on dates of just dry erase, and it was like checkers, chess. I mean, just constantly moving pieces to get that schedule to fall together. It's a lot.
You know, and it's one of those, of course, social media, they always just like, well, what about this track? Well, you're not a real national series because you're not blah, blah, blah. Well, I hate to break it to you. It really is a national series. And it's always easy to scream from the cheap seats.
Yep. But I can tell you, I don't know about you, but schedule release day was always about my least favorite day of the year working for a series because all it is nonstop complaining. Why aren't you coming here? Why are you going there? Like, oh my God! Is you just finished pouring, hundreds of hours into a schedule.
Well, and then
I think we forgot about it.
Well, and the biggest piece of advice I always give to anybody that's going to work in this sport: stay out of the comments.
Yeah. Oh, that's a fact.
That is the worst thing you can do is start going through the comments because all you're going to do is see the other half that has never been and never will be, but they've got an opinion on what you or somebody else should do.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not talking badly about race fans. Without the race fans, we don't have a show. What gets me is the person that's sitting in Utah screaming about how dare you don't have instant replays or how dare you don't have 5 cameras or how dare... Okay. Do you have any idea what any of that costs?
Yeah.
Flo is not sending a production team to our events. We are doing this. We are contractors.
Devin's building it.
And you look in that van, it's Devin. Sometimes you got Bordy, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you got Burbis, sometimes you don't. Sometimes Mitch is in there to help a little bit. Most time he's on a camera.
It's impressive. I mean, I've seen it from its first iteration to where they sit now, and it's pretty impressive. But
It's and it's crazy to see just how much has changed in the last couple of years. Where now we're able to use Dante, we're able to do things through fiber. I never would have imagined, a dirt track broadcast. We're using fiber optics.
Yeah. I remember when first started talking about that with Flo, and now it's it's common ground to use that.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about, especially how how fragile fiber is in the world that we live in.
Well, and it depends on how you do your fiber. If you do everything off of a run to a box and a snake, I mean, how many thousands of feet is that coil of fiber? If it's an 8-strand, I mean, you're looking at $3,000.
Yeah.
Just laying in the dirt.
Just laying there waiting for someone to come step on it and break it. Yeah, fiber's so fragile. But well, Bryan, we'll let you get back to work. I know that you've got a million balls up in the air right now. We appreciate you taking a little bit of time out of your day to join us and chat with us about Chili Bowl and a little about USAC. We've got a lot to cover. We'll have to get you back on and really kind of peel the onion layers back on your career. Maybe once we get into the spring, post Florida. Just wanted to preview Tulsa Shootout and Chili Bowl, but we really want to get into chatting with you about your career at some point.
No, I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. And don't work too hard, but
yeah, I'll see you in
Try
2
not
weeks.
to. All right, we'll see you guys.
All right, see you,
take
Bryan.
care.
Welcome back, everyone. A good chat there with Bryan Hulbert. And like I said at the end of the interview, we'll have Bryan back on this spring to talk about his career, but we just wanted to talk Chili Bowl Shootout, some of the biggest events in dirt track racing coming up in just 2 weeks, starting December 30th, live on Flow Racing through the new year. I'll come back for a week and then go back to Tulsa for the Chili Bowl. And boy, entries, we talked about it in the interview, Erik, they're on the rise and on the go. So I'm excited to see where they end up tonight.
Yeah.
By the time this drops tomorrow, we'll have probably a better idea of where things sit, because Bryan said he's got a lot of entries in the inbox. So he's a busy guy. I don't know when he sleeps. I mean,
I don't either by the sound of talking to him.
I mean, I see him. The guy lives off NOS energy drink and coffee for the next month, so it's impressive. And we drink a lot of NOS down there during those couple of weeks, because Lauren Albano at NOS Energy Drink, a great partner of everything that happens at Tulsa now. So that's fun to see. News and notes hitting. He talked about it, Erik. USAC schedule dropped. 96 events on it. A fun schedule. I'm excited to see that. All those events are live on Flow Racing. So if you're a Flow Racing subscriber, if you're not, I highly encourage you to get it, because it's worth it. You get it for a year. So that means Shootout and Chili Bowl, you'll have that live on your screen starting in 2 weeks, and then you get the whole rest of the year. So that's going to be fun. Gateway Dirt Nationals, that'll be kind of, if you start now, what ends your year coming in a year. So that'll be fun. But the USAC schedule's big. It's as usual. It's more than the Outlaw schedule and High Limit schedule, with 96 events on it across their 3 national series.
Well, that's what's impressive, but I mean, you break that down to that's among 3 different series that they're running. So a lot of events, a lot of racing, a lot of content for Flow, and you can't set your board when there's 90 plus events of USAC. What's the number
60 events for High Limit?
Yeah,
Port Royal schedule.
Like there's plenty of racing out there to
Marshalltown.
watch. Yep, exactly. Marshalltown. One of the big things I was gonna bring up now, I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, I'm excited for Tulsa, and just it's fun to see that entry level continue to grow. Something you and I have talked about a lot is that young talent. You're seeing the young talent at Tulsa in the shootout, and then you see some of that merge into the Chili Bowl.
Yep.
And it's fun to just see that transition, but it's fun to see kids get their first start also in Tulsa, and then see them win their first Golden Driller, and that emotion, because whether it feels like you've won 1 or whether you've won 5, it seems like that emotion to win a Golden Driller, just because of how hard it is, is always there.
There's a lot of emotion in that building, good and bad, coming a couple weeks from now. We see it all, full range. Stuff happening at PRI. I actually sat with him at the wedding this past weekend, Tyler Courtney's wedding. Giovanni Selzi, I sat right next to him. He was at my table, and His ride got announced. He said he drove over that morning for the announcement and drove back to Iowa. He lives in central Iowa now with his girlfriend, Maddie. But Gio's ride is out there. Spire Motorsports, the Accent team is what they're calling their kind of development rides. They have Gio. He's going to be with High Limit in the 77 car, sponsored by Chili's. Then they'll have a car on the Cars Tour. And then they'll have Carson Hocevar going to run some dirt late model stuff. So he had his sharp-looking Chili's ride.
That was a sharp-looking
Yep.
Chili's ride at the Dome.
Gio's ride looks almost identical.
Yeah.
So if you get on social media, you can find it there. High Limit, a couple of guys back in the fold with High Limit that were announced last week. Danny Sams is back, which that was one that was probably up in the air.
Yep.
Heard a lot of rumors that he was maybe on the fence of flipping. Cy Lynch is back, and we talked about it. Cy Lynch hired Heath Moyle to run his program, so that's an excellent hire. And I'm going to say it, I think Cy has always been a phenomenal qualifier, and I think now you add Heath Moyle into the mix, and I think we're going to see Cy Lynch get his first national tour win this year. I think this is the year.
I think both the guys you mentioned you're going to see will make big strides forwards again. They had solid years last year, but I think we're going to see both those drivers continue to improve on what they had, continue to rise, and that's where it's going to be a lot of fun because young talent again. There's younger talent that is just getting better and competing on the national level, and that's what makes that fun to watch.
Yeah, not sure what Chase Randall's going to do. I didn't get it. He was at the wedding. I didn't get a chance to talk to him though, but that's kind of the one that's up in the air.
Had one, John.
Scotty Thiel, big announcement for the Big Wheel. The IRA champion going to go outlaw racing with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series with Michigan-based team Greg Wheeler Motorsports. So that's a good opportunity for Scotty, who has kind of been bouncing around in some rides and not super steady footing. So that's good for him. I think Scotty will be. It'll be interesting to watch. And I did see there is a outlaw rookie being announced tonight as recording.
So it's Tuesday. So
it's Tuesday. So we'll know by the time this gets released. You'll know. So check that out on the Outlaw social media channels. I don't.
Will that
have
go
this,
up to 3 rookies?
That'd be 3
then?
rookies.
Okay.
Yep. I don't have the slightest idea who it is. Honestly, like I would say it right now if I've heard rumors. I have not heard a single rumor on who it is, and I saw someone post that's in the know and said they haven't seen this name even thrown around.
Wow.
So
okay.
We'll see. I truly don't know.
I look forward to seeing. Is there a time for when that might drop? I mean, again,
it's
this will
gonna be
come out Thursday, so it'll be already out for you listeners.
Tuesday
but,
night.
Okay.
I know that's all I was told. Like Tuesday night, 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Central. So we'll know here this afternoon. High Limit is looking for a new title sponsor, though. That just dropped yesterday. That Jeremy Elliott dropped it. That Kubota is out. I had heard rumblings of that a couple weeks ago. Kubota had a leadership change, new CEO that's not really into the racing scene, so they're kind of pulling back on all of their racing stuff. So that means Flow Racing Night in America looking for a title sponsor as well. But the positive is Flow Racing is hard on the beat, and it sounds like, according to Justin Fiedler on Dirt Tracker Daily on Monday's episode, that they have some feelers in there. I know Andrew Richardson at Flow Racing does a phenomenal job. I remember the last couple of years with the All-Stars, we sold our title rights to Flow.
Okay.
And they were able to fill things. And Andrew had about 8 lines in the water on title sponsors. So I don't that will be filled. 100% will be filled. It'll be exciting to see what they get. I don't know. I imagine in the next month we'll know because there's a lot of legwork there and paperwork. So I would say before they hit the racetrack at Las Vegas, the dirt track at Las Vegas Motor Speedway the first week of March, we'll have an idea. So I'd probably say mid-April or mid-February, probably have a pretty good idea on what's going to happen there. Also, this past summer, the Outlaws signed a multi-year deal for their late model series with Real American Beer, Hulk Hogan's beer. Hulk Hogan then passed away. Well, we caught wind about a week ago that title sponsorship is gone. So they kind of backed out. So that's a tough break for the Outlaw late models, which, speaking of late models, last week, Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series announced that they're going away from their playoff format and going to regular points, which is Ricky Thornton Jr. is singing hallelujah all the way because the last 3 years, he's been the most dominant late model in the country and has one title to show for it because playoff format.
Did we? Because Flow has bought Lucas Oil.
That's where I was going to go next.
Have we talked about that yet?
That's what I was just going to hit next. Is while we're on that, is Flow did purchase the Lucas Oil Dirt Late Model Series, which that's no surprise. I feel like I remember talking to Michael Rigsby, the GM at Flow Racing, 3-4 years ago about that, and said, eventually that probably will come into the car. Didn't really say it would, but said it probably would. That's where it would lead to, and then Forrest Lucas passed away. Morgan Lucas's son is running the company, and he's really started to kind of let go of sponsorships and kind of cut things loose. So, and that was one that it made sense. It made all the sense in the world. And Flo continues to invest in dirt track racing.
They do.
I mean, if people knew the number, I mean, when you spend your $150 at Flo Racing, I would say well over half of that, probably closer to 3/4 of that money is being put right back into dirt track racing, where spending money with dirt tracks, events like us here at Skagit Series. So they spend a lot of money. So just feel good knowing that when you're spending that money, that a lot of that is going right back into our dirt track hands to be able to increase events. I mean, I look at the large purse increase here at Skagit Nationals. A big part of that was Flo Racing helping things out. And, Kevin obviously wants to continue to push the envelope and does a phenomenal job. But Flo helped out there a little bit, and at Tulare they helped out there, and I know they were a large help at the Dome. So they keep investing in dirt track racing, which is great to see. So just know that you're helping dirt track racing with your subscription. And I know Dirt Vision does a lot of the same too. So this isn't a one-way street. Dirt Vision does a lot, but yeah, that's a big news in dirt track racing as we expected. One of the other big things that came out was, this is like wash, rinse, and repeat, is now we have a sprint car council again that we had 7 years ago, and I was not directly a part of that, but a part of a lot of the conversations in that, because the rules that is above and beyond me. But I went to a couple meetings, and that's, I don't know. I mean, I felt like we had one, so hopefully this goes better the second time around. One thing I do like this time around is I think that Justin Fiedler put it best, there's not as many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah,
There's
100%.
6 people. You can go to those people and bring what you think, and then they can take your findings to the next level. I think that was part of the problem that we had the first time is we had all these tracks, all these tracks, all these series, crew chiefs, teams, drivers, which is great, but nothing got accomplished because it was no one could agree on anything. With 6 people, I feel like we can get stuff accomplished for the betterment of the sport. I mean, there was some people loudly complaining on, why don't we have drivers? Why don't we have teams? When we didn't have a council, it wasn't like these, series and tracks that were making these decisions. They were making the decision themselves. So now let's just get everyone on the same playing field. Great. I think it's a good thing for our sport as long as it's done right.
I think so too. I'll be very excited to follow it and see what they
come out with.
Yeah.
They came out with a belt rule already that there's this system where the seat belt's attached to the back of the seat and not to the frame, if I remember right. Like I said, rules a little bit out of my... Justin Fiedler explained it very well on Dirt Tracker Daily on Monday's episode. So, speaking of stuff, I mean, if you want to really stay up to date with the news and notes on what's happening, give Dirt Tracker Daily a watch. That's every morning when I wake up. Now he posts them at night, so now it's every night. But it used to be every morning out here because we were 3 hours behind. I would watch it first thing I woke up. Now it's when Justin posts it, usually in the afternoon. So, today's episode probably posted already.
Yeah.
But usually when I get home at night, that's one of the first things I do when I get home from work is pop up Dirt Tracker Daily on my TV and watch it. 10 minutes.
It's a great listen, great watch.
You get everything happening in the dirt track racing world. If you like dirt track racing and you're not watching Dirt Tracker Daily, I highly, highly recommend tuning into that. That's literally a daily watch for me.
And it's on YouTube, but he's also on Spotify. I don't know.
He's everywhere.
I know I've seen him on YouTube and Spotify. There's the 2 platforms where I've watched him.
And you can listen to it. You can listen to it on your smartphone just like
That's
a podcast.
That's what I've done on Spotify.
I watch it on YouTube, but you can absolutely listen to it. So,
question.
Well worth it.
Question on the Sprint Car Council because I'm curious. So when they come out with a rule, is it still on the touring series to adopt that rule? Okay, so it's the Sprint Car Council comes out with a recommendation, basically.
That's
right?
how I understand it. That's how it worked last time. It's like, hey, we're they leave there and like we're all on this page, right? And then it's on
the series to adopt
enforce it because there's going to be some. There's going to be some differences between High Limit and the Outlaws. I mean, High Limit's on a different wicker build than the Outlaws. High Limit allows one in-cockpit shock adjuster, where the Outlaws don't allow any. So there's subtle differences, but I feel like for the most part, for the safety and betterment of the sport, that's where they're going to work on things. Stuff with the chassis, the frames. Yeah. Stuff. You hear things like, are we going to have a head clearance requirement? That's something that we tried to push through a while. I mean, that's something you go to Australia and that's there. They have a little device they set on it, and if the thing touches your helmet, you're too close to your head doesn't have enough clearance between the top of the frame and your helmet, you can't race. Plain and simple.
Wow.
So I feel like we need to get there a little bit, and the rock screen stuff always bothers me a little bit. It's kind of, we shouldn't have to require a rock screen. I feel like it's like seatbelts. Shouldn't have to require them. It should just be mandatory. You get used to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's easy for me to say. I don't drive one, but I wouldn't go on a racetrack without a rock screen. No. I think you're insane to do it, especially with the parts coming off these cars and
the rocks.
The rocks. Let
as
alone
well
a brake
manicured surface as you can be, there's always going to be a little rock. Yeah. That's nothing on any racetrack. It's dirt.
You're never going to be able to get it 100% rock free. The mud clod.
A big mud clod does the same thing.
Spencer Baston broke his leg at an all-star race at Grandview. A mud clod came through the side and broke his leg.
Yeah, I remember.
I mean, that was
probably years ago now.
Yeah, that was probably 2018, 2019, I'd say. I think it was before the pandemic. He was in Pete Grove's 70 car, if I remember right. But nonetheless, mud clods flying off. Brake caliper comes off the car. What are you going to do? Parker Price Miller, I remember at the All-Star race at Red Hill in Illinois in 2023. Thank God Parker had a rock screen in. It knocked his rock screen back, bent it back a foot.
Wow.
And I don't know what hit him. I can't remember what it was, but Parker didn't have a rock screen in, and Parker, that would have been ugly.
Yeah.
That would have been real ugly. So thank God Parker had a rock screen in, and Parker had a heck of a year last year, and he's won. What's PPM going to do this year?
Yeah.
I don't know. He won, I think, 4 All-Star races with Bernie and Betsy Stubjen last year. So
yeah.
We'll see. Also, something before we close it out that was interesting that I thought, speaking of the USAC schedule, the Commonwealth Clash at Lernerville Speedway for years has been a wing sprint car race. So it's going to be a non-wing sprint car race in 2026, excuse me. That'll be interesting to see. I called a USAC non-wing race at Lernerville in 2011. I want to say John Stambro won it, but I can't remember. It's been 1,000 races ago. But Kirk and Richie, we talked about them in the interview with Bryan Hulbert. They'd be able to tell you off the top of their head. But I don't have that. I have pretty good recall, but not Kirk Spridgen, Richie Murray level recall. Yeah, it was I remember walking across the racetrack. That was the first race of Eastern Storm.
Okay.
Rode with Jason McCord, I can tell you that much. Jason McCord and Kirk Spridgen and I. And
what was Eastern Storm, I guess?
Eastern Storm is USAC's Eastern Tour through Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So with the sprint cars. Now they have a midget tour as well that goes through there. But Eastern Storm's fun. But, yeah. Check them out, USACracing.com. Their schedule, High Limit, their schedule's out. The World of Outlaw schedule's out. ChiliBowl.com and TulsaShootout.com is where you want to be to see all their stuff. We're just a couple of weeks away. Flow Racing. Get those Flow Racing subscriptions now. Tweet us. If you're watching on Flow Racing during the Shootout Chili Bowl, tweet us. Let us know. I mean, I know that Caleb's on social media. KALEB. I think it's Caleb Hart 83.
Let me see.
But you feel free to blow his Twitter up during Tulsa Shootout and such, because he hangs out in the booth the whole time, so he's got his phone on the charger.
There he is. Caleb Hart 83. KALEBHART 83.
Yeah, give him a
If
tweet.
you want to blow up Blake's.
Yeah, but do more so Caleb.
You can blow Blake up at Blake Anderson, BLAKEANDERSON, or at Skagit.
If they have trouble spelling my name, then I can't help you.
Well,
but nonetheless, yeah.
Tweet both of them.
Yeah, Caleb, blow his phone up. He's got his computer in front of him because he sits in the booth the whole time. He doesn't ever go pit report.
So I'll text both of you guys.
Yeah, I like to be out in the field pit report. I love being in the booth, but I like to pit report too because I like to be out with the people. I'll have my long-lost brother, Earl Hoon, with me, so Tyler McKim's blood pressure will be through the roof when Earl and I are together. But we'll have fun. It's going to be a good time. Next week, shall I say it?
Yeah, go.
Okay,
I've got it written down
week-
on my notes, so yeah.
Next week, we have our podcast guest already set up. Steve Beitler going to be live and in person here at Skagit Speedway for the podcast next week. So we'll probably have a long Christmas episode, but that'll probably get us through. That'll get you through 2 weeks because we won't have one the week after Christmas, probably because I think that's Christmas Lane's on a Thursday.
Yep.
So it'll drop then, and then that next week will be New Year's.
Yeah.
So the office
we'll
will be
probably
closed.
take New Year's off. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll give you a long episode. Maybe we could break it into 2 parts.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll discuss after that one. Yeah.
We'll see how long it goes. But Steve will be here. That'll be fun. Lots of stories.
I'm excited for that one.
Asked me, what do you want to talk about? And I said, I don't know. You tell me, Steve. He said, oh, boy, that get me in trouble. I'll send some topics. But we'll cover his racing career, his promoting career and ownership career at Skagit Speedway, and what in the world is Steve Beitler doing now with Steve Beitler Yacht Charters?
That's
and,
one question I'm excited to ask him about.
Yeah, we'll cover a lot of ground with Steve Beitler. Guaranteed laughs, so you'll want to listen to that next week. That'll drop. We'll probably have to drop it on Wednesday.
So we can go Christmas Eve, yeah.
So, yeah.
And there's your early Christmas gift from us.
We'll give you an early Christmas gift. Speaking of Christmas gifts, we've got a lot of T-shirts on sale on SkagitSpeedway.com. Hit shop, and we have Christmas ornaments. And if you're in the Skagit Valley and you just want to come buy it, skip the shipping and just come buy it in person, you can swing by the office. We're here 9 to 5.
There you
With
go.
that, Erik.
Well, you can follow Skagit Speedway on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, and YouTube, all at Skagit Speedway. We're constantly rolling out, whether it's old race videos on the archives for the YouTube, different pieces of social media content. Follow the podcast wherever you get your podcast. I mean, if you're listening to it, you've already found it, but we appreciate that, and we'll see you next week.
Big episode next week.
Big
We're excited.
episode next week. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everyone.